So it's the end of the day. We done chatting it up with Fonz, the Fonz. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Damn, man. There it is.
Thank you. Enjoy your massage.
This is what happens when you get people lunch and you don't collect up front. It's freaking 40 minutes after we close, and I'm just getting my money back. Unbelievable.
I never asked for lunch.
Collect ahead of time, guys.
Go get 'em out.
Oh snap! Check this out. VHS tape. Check it out. Check it out. What that say there? What that say there? That says 4A Regional Player of the Year, ACT 21. Look at this. Just look at this. Not bad. Not bad. Y'all want to check out some of them? Some of them. Y'all want to check out some of that old game film? Check it out. Told you, your boy was getting buckets. I thought I was playing. I ain't athletic for no reason. Telling you. So basketball was life. I always remember caring about, my haircut. I always wanted to be fresh, but all I cared about was basketball, really. And I played AAU basketball, but my grades were horrible. My grades were terrible. I was the guy with a 1.9, 1.8 GPA. I was the guy who tried to skip school, and it wasn't because I wasn't smart. It was just I didn't care. I didn't care enough to go after the grades. I was always entrepreneur minded. I was the guy that you knock on the door on Fridays, and I was the white tee man. So in high school, I had my little side hustle. I was the guy you go to for white tea, $5 white teas every Friday. I knew there was gonna be a gang of people coming to my door, buying white teas, and I had like a side door to my room, so I knew if somebody knocked, boom, white teas out the door. And I remember I started my business, and that was my hustle in high school. I was always an entrepreneur, and I was instilled in me because of my father. My father, I'm first generation born in the United States, and my father's from Colombia, my mom's from Puerto Rico. And my father moved here not knowing English, and he's always been an entrepreneur, always. So he instilled work ethic and entrepreneurship in me. I always knew I didn't want to be a boss. I didn't want to be an employer. I always wanted to be a boss because of my father. I wanted to be a business owner. I wanted to be my own boss, And my father instilled that in me, so thank you, Dad. But in high school, all I cared about was basketball, and I didn't want to go to school. It was boring to me, I wanted to do what I wanted to do, But and I was pretty good at basketball, man. When I played AAU, I was always all tournament, first team all tournament. I would average 20 plus a game in these AAU tournaments against some pretty good competition. I'm talking about some of these cats went to the league, but nonetheless, in high school, my freshman year, I didn't play much. I played JV. Then my sophomore year, I came out like strong. There was a new coach, and I was actually the starting point guard for varsity. And if you look up Nature Coast Tech, we're a good program. We're not we're a 5A school. We ain't no slouches. But I was starting as a sophomore on varsity, and because of my grades, carpet was taken right from underneath me. I played 7 games, I think. Started 7 games and was ineligible the rest of the season. So then my junior year comes in, and the first like 10 games I'm ineligible because of my freaking grades. So I finally get to play, and I had a decent season. Then the start of my senior year, I played in a tournament, a preseason tournament, and I was killing them. And I actually got a D1 offer to UAB, and it was like my coming out party. It was like nobody knew about me because I couldn't play. I was always ineligible, but my coach always wanted me. He always kept me alongside. He always stayed positive with me. He always pushed me to get better grades. Coach Pretty, if you watching this, man, I appreciate you so much. Coach Brittany, you've been so instrumental to my growth, to my life. You're somebody who, you were like a parent to me. You really were. And Coach Brittany, if you're watching this, thank you so much for caring so much. And but they pushed me to be better. And come my senior year, this was my actual year where I played all season. So I got some D1 offers, and Coach Pretty, he figured, he said, don't get crazy, don't get all happy. I think there's gonna be a lot more offers. And then I started getting calls for visits and stuff to like D2 schools around the state of Florida. And then when they would hear about my grades, nobody wanted me anymore. My grades were they killed me. I ended up being County Player of the Year, Cole County Player of the Year, Regional Player of the Year. I was in the Florida All-Star game. I think I averaged like 17 points and like 6 or 7 assists. And we made it to regionals, to the state tournament, made it to regionals, and we lost in regionals. And we actually lost in the conference tournament by a freaking buzzer beater by the Cole County Player of the Year. He hit a buzzer beater and beat us. But all in all, man, my grades killed me. And I ended up putting in like extra classes and taking night school and stuff. And I raised, in 1 year, there's a newspaper article. Matter of fact, this is it right here. There's a newspaper article about it. I raised my GPA from a 1.9 or 1.8, something like that, to a 2.7, almost to a 3.0. I got high honors my senior year, and I ended up getting a scholarship. Now, it wasn't to a D1 or D2 program like I wanted. It was an NAIA D2 school, but it was the number 9 school in the country, number 9 ranked school. I ended up going to this school in Wichita, in a small place outside of Wichita, and it was culture shock. But I'm long story short, I'm in school and I'm broke. My dad lost his business. This is in the middle of the recession. This is 2007, 2008, right in the recession. My mom loses her job, her 401k. My dad loses his businesses. They crashed. Everything was hard. Everything wasn't what it was planned to be, and they couldn't help me out financially. So here I am, no car, 18 years old, in college in another state across the country, and I gotta figure out a way to make money. I don't know. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, playing sports and going to school full time is not easy. Your coach will tell you right there in practice, this is your job. Earn your scholarship. And I ended up getting pretty much a full ride, because what they did was they gave me an academic scholarship. I don't know how. They gave me I don't know what qualified me for the academic scholarship, but they gave it to me. They gave me an academic scholarship for 50% of it. Another 50% was athletic scholarship. So that's why I went. So I'm a broke kid, in the middle of nowhere, and I'm trying to figure out how to make ends meet. And I have a teammate from Texas, LB, shout out LB, who was cutting everybody up, the whole school up. This man, he had a new car. He was doing really well, and he was cutting hair. Now his haircuts were cheap. They were $5, and when I could afford it, I would, even $5 was hard. You know, $5 was, I used to make $5 stretch. I would get my ramen noodles. I'd get and what you could do with some ramen noodles, man. My teammate from Mississippi, Moses, he used to do some things with some ramen noodles. He used to put all kinds of seasoning, throw some chicken in there, some chicken nuggets or something in there, and he would make it a gourmet meal. But I used to make them $5 stretch. So what I was doing was I was cutting my own hair. I remember my wife, she sent me my first pair of clippers, and they were Oster Fast Feeds. They were the maroon ones, Oster Fast Feeds. Those were my first clippers. And my first trimmers were some Conair Pros that my mom had. And I for the life of me, I didn't know why they didn't cut good, but I made them work. So I would line myself up. I give myself an all even when I used to get tapers, and that was the introduction to cutting hair for me. Was in college in my dorm room because I couldn't afford to get a haircut. So, anyways, I'm in the middle of nowhere and I'm hating life, man. You know, I'm getting playing time. I'm getting a little bit of playing time, and I felt like I could have done real well there in that program. And you know, the coach, when I told him I was gonna leave, I finished the whole season out, did pretty good. You know, I told the coach I wasn't planning on staying, and you know, he said, "Yo, if I change my mind, the scholarship's still there. I'm more than welcome to come back." So, thank you for that. For always, you know, asking me to come back and being welcoming if I did want to come back. But I ended up leaving, coming back home. Mind you, I haven't even mentioned this. Justine has been in my life since the 10th grade. Like, she's been. This is my high school sweetheart, my wife right now. She's my high school sweetheart. And this whole time, she's been there supporting me for the whole year, you know, being the best cheerleader that she could be, like she is today. She's so supportive. And she had a job, and she would send me money to help me out sometimes, too. And, you know, I would do team laundry, whatever it took to get by. But I eventually decided to come back home because I found out the hard way that it wasn't fun anymore. It was more of a job. You know, this was the schedule. It was, you wake up in the morning, at 6 o'clock in the morning, you got conditioning. You're running laps, you're doing conditioning, right? From there, 8 o'clock, you gotta run to your dorm, take a shower, get to class as soon as possible. In between classes, they schedule you for like individual workouts. So you're doing shooting drills and stuff like that, defensive drills, whatever position you are, big man, rebounding drills. And I was the shortest guy on the team, and I'm 6 feet, you know. I was the shortest guy on the team. And after all this, you're still going to classes after these individual workouts. And then at night, like 5:30, 6 o'clock is your real practice. And this would be from like 6 to 9. Then from there, you go home to your dorm room, and you got homework to do. You do your homework. If you do it, I slacked. I didn't do my homework. I was always in work study, mandatory work study. And then you didn't have your weekends because that was your games. So where was the time to have a job? So I couldn't live that life much longer, man. I wanted to make this money. Remember, I'm an entrepreneur at heart. So I ended up leaving, coming home, and my plan was to transfer because I had community colleges out here in Tampa that would let me play. So I was gonna come back, and then I found out the hard way that if you're out of Florida for more than a year, you're no longer in-state tuition because you're no longer considered a resident, even though I lived out here my whole life. So I had to take a year break before I was going to go back to college. So I went and got a job, and I said the most flexible thing. I'm not doing this all over again. If I'm going to go play school ball, I got to know how to cut hair like LB did when I was in Kansas. So I picked up the clippers, kept cutting. I would cut my cousin's hair. I would cut whoever I could when I could. I ended up deciding to go to barber school because it was the most flexible job that I could have while in college, and it took a year to finish. So I figured, yo, I'm not gonna waste this year. I'm gonna go to barber school, and I'll go to college. And then once I'm done with barber school, I'll have a trade that I could go to college and have a flexible career. So that was the beginning of my journey as a barber. But yeah, and before I go, man, I think I'm gonna make this like a segment type thing. What do you guys think about that? I think I'm gonna do like little segments of little chapters of my life, and then eventually we'll catch up to present, and hopefully my present is better than my present right now.